The one big thing that we tried to do this year is last year's motto was blue collar. This year it's blue collar gold standard. It's not enough just to work hard. We have to work smart and we have to hold ourselves accountable to a much higher level than we have in the past. It's not enough just to compete anymore. It's not about moral victories. It's how do we put a performance out on the court, and I think the players have bought into that. And there's been times in practice where I've seen in their eyes they might not be necessarily happy with me, but the standard is higher than what it was. And it has to be, and it will continue to get higher as we progress down this journey. But I really don't think we're that far away from really competing with other people. As far as culture, I think Coach Harvey was doing a great job of establishing a culture of effort and second efforts and toughness and work. So there hasn't been a huge change as far as the culture of the team. I've just sort of been trying to continue a lot of the work that he's put in. As far as style of play, we've had to modify a little bit just based on the fact that we have a very different roster this year. I think we're a little bit more balanced in what we have. I think we have a little bit more strength in the post, a little bit more size. So we're just trying to figure out how can we use some of our new assets to our team and still maintain a little bit of the identity that made some of those players and some of those programs successful last year and the previous years. I think the big thing that we wanted with the preseason was we wanted to test ourselves. I think you only really can tell what you have when you play against good competition. We played against 4 NCAA teams. We played one team that was in the CIS top 10. We played another team that had votes in the top 10. So we only played good competition. I honestly believe that it gave us a great opportunity to see where we were at and gave us sort of that measuring stick of where we are and where we need to be. And I also believe that anything that we identified as an issue, we were able to address in practice, and we saw huge improvements. So for me, even though the record says 1-7, I think it was hugely successful because I think we're so much further ahead than where we were even just a month ago. And I think we're well prepared for the start of the season. To be honest, I don't think we're far away. Seeing both soccer teams make the playoffs already this year, men's hockey having some tremendous success, the volleyball teams being competitive, I don't think we're far off. Even our men's basketball team has had some very good results in the preseason, and I think as our program in general strengthens, I think it just makes my job even easier. As far as what I need to do, I think the biggest thing is having a solid vision of where we need to be and what we need to do to get there. Once that vision's sort of set, it's selling it to your players and the people around the program, and then going out and finding people in the community and recruits and alumni and supporters that buy into that vision and just work hard to achieve that. I really don't think we're far away. I think we've made some momentum in the community. I think people are excited about our program. I've had tremendous response from recruits not only here in Alberta and Ontario. We have players that are buying in each and every day. I think we have some quality in our program. I really don't think we're that far away from being competitive with everyone in the CIS. And really, until we're competitive with everyone and competing for national championships, I won't be happy. And continue to work to strive towards that goal. And I think we have people around us that feel the same way. So we're not far off. I really believe that. I think it affects you more in practice than it does in games. I think we have to be smarter in our time on court, and we have to modify what we do to make sure that we're maximizing what we do. Do we do more video work? Do we do more off-court sessions to make sure they have an understanding of some of the systems and some of the ideas that are concepts we're trying to put in? You can't just go long practices and just beat them up because we're not going to be healthy enough, we're not going to be fresh enough when we get to competition. So for me, it's been a challenge in how do we modify our training schedule to ensure that we can still perform. And then also with the players, how do we ensure that when they are in practice, they're giving full effort? We can't build in habits of half effort or conservation. They won't work in competition. So for us, the biggest adjustment's been in practice, but at the same time, I think we've put some good performances in. Even some of the games that we haven't won, we've given other teams problems. They've had to adjust to the way that we played. So we haven't seen a drastic drop in performance on court because I think we've been successful in modifying things while we're in practice and some of the training phases of our team. What this team was known for last year was pushing tempo, playing fast and getting after people defensively. And we're trying to figure out how we can be maybe a little bit more balanced. We have a little bit more strength in the post this year, so how do we maintain a certain pace of play and a certain aggression defensively and still allow or still get us in a position where we can use some of our strengths in the posts. So as far as style of play, I think it's how we try to keep some of our identity and then just sort of build off of that. I think you'll see an awful lot of ball screen. I think you'll see an awful lot of sharing the basketball, really trying to be aggressive to get the ball in the paint, but not just off penetration anymore, trying to get post touches and trying to play from there. And then defensively, we'll mix it up. We're not going to play one specific style of play. We're going to play a little bit of zone, we're going to play a little bit of man, but how can we be the ones who dictate to the offense what they do, not the other way around? This being my first year in Canada West, my first year as a CIS head coach, I'm trying not to be naive, but at the same time, really try to build the dream within myself, my coaching staff, and my team. What I would say is this: we were 6-14 last year, and we vied for a playoff spot right up until the last 2 weekends. I want to improve on that. You want to improve each and every year, regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstances. So my goal going in is to improve on that record and continue to compete for a playoff spot. I don't know any other way to be. I also think that with the work that we put in, the progress that we've made, I think we can be competitive even with teams with maybe a little bit more perceived depth on the roster, a little bit more skill. I think we're doing the right things to give people problems, and I think if they don't prepare properly for us, I think we can beat some teams that people think are better than us. So, yeah, my goal is to improve on that record and vie for playoffs. And the funny thing is I could go down a list of all 10 players that will be playing for us this year and give you a reason why I'm excited about seeing them play and how they've improved since last year and what they could bring. It's really difficult to really narrow it, but if I had to, I think Angela Driscoll, this being her third year in the program. Third year in the program. She's been someone who's known as a defensive stopper, someone who loves to get out in transition, but to see her progression in being able to use a ball screen, starting to make more decisions, starting to become more of a cerebral player on the court, I think has been special to watch. I think the other one is Melissa Moore. Someone who was primarily a backup last year, or the first 2 years for her, someone who didn't even play high school basketball her last year of high school. She was fantastic for us down in Montana, and is just a really difficult person to match up because of her size and athleticism and just her work rate. She offensive rebounds exceptionally well. So I think those are two that I'm especially excited about, but really I could have answered that with any one of the other 8 players on our roster.